and we're going. In the Metcalfe area, 5 car fires per day on average, and that is the dreadful indictment of our community. However, firefighters have got to go out and make sure that no one has been trapped or left in the vehicle, because it does happen from time to time. People go out there to damage someone else's property and inadvertently get caught themselves. And this car is now going reasonably well. The firefighters have been called out, they come to the scene, and as they normally would have done, they would go and have a look, see if there's anyone involved. Although it's hazardous to say if there's anyone involved in this car at the moment, it may be too late. Turn up to the store, now they were assessed as to what they would use to put the fire out. So obviously in this case assessed they need foam. They got there, assessed they don't need it, they're going to put water on the fire and put it out. We're also using the light tanker also, put water on it to protect the firefighters if need be. They put water out to, once the pressure comes up to what they want, they'll then put foam on it. This saves the plenty of water. Got foam out of the light tanker also. Very quickly, by cooling it down and smothering, they've been able to put out or contain the fire, so it doesn't spread anywhere else, more importantly. And it's working well now. Start walking in, fellas. Very quickly the fire's been extinguished, making sure they keep cooling it down so it won't reignite. Here you've been able to see not only is they good at road rescue, they're very proficient also at putting out fires. Put your hands together for the firefighters. Well done, firefighters. That concludes our demonstration, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said before, remember if you have an accident, see a chemical incident where your house or the grass catches on fire, make sure you ring 000, contact your local volunteer movement or local fire brigade, and they will come as quickly as possible, and I'm sure we'll do just as good a job as they have here this morning in making sure that your life and your property is protected.
To our other parliamentarian representatives, thank you for coming once again. I don't know what it is, we seem to be meeting quite regularly these days. We'll soon be going to the same functions. To the Chief Fire Officer, Mr Max Castlehouse, it's great to see you all here. And to the Assistant Chief Fire Officer, Mr Collie, thank you for coming. And Ted Strong, of course, from the FEC, where's Ted? Ted's here somewhere.
Thanks for warning me.
And to Bob McDonald from the local police force. Thank you for coming also. Thank you all very much for what you have done today. It's been most interesting, and I hope the rest of the weekend is very, very pleasant for you all. hand over to you.
Thanks, Brigade. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me say first of all that it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Roseanne indicated the volunteer movement is really appreciated in this town, and I was only committing to her during the demonstration that the lifeblood of the fire brigade, it's a fact of life that the fire service is heavily reliant in country towns on volunteer movement. I was saying to the guys when I arrived this morning, they were quite nervous about the demonstration, and I said to them, look, what you want to do is just cut a few bits and pieces up beforehand, so when the crowd arrive and you've got your new equipment, you just move into it and it'll all fall apart and look good. They didn't take my advice, but I'm glad they didn't, because quite frankly this morning that demonstration was done with a professional air. They've only had the equipment some 2 months, and in combination and coordination with the other group, the ambulance group, and the SES were standing by in case they were needed, they really portrayed what the volunteer movement's about, and that is a mutual aid group. And the demonstration was quite professional. I watched it, if you like, with a little bit of apprehension as a chief officer, not because I had no faith in the equipment or the men, but the fact of the matter was it was new to them and hadn't had much opportunity to use it. And in front of a crowd, Murphy's Law, when I say Murphy's Law, pretty close to St Pat's Day, would have made prevailed. But in fact it didn't, and they did a very professional job, and I'm very proud and very pleased that I witnessed that today. Now, of course, we've moved from that particular demonstration to this afternoon's show, which is really to honour in fact there was 3 recipients of medals. In fact we've only got 2, but one fellow had to be called away unfortunately. But to honour the volunteers and to pay tribute, you like, for their service. It's a fact of life that volunteers, when they join, they are usually people who are very proud of their town. They're usually people who have lived in town or have generations in town for some time and live, if you like, the town life. And what I mean by that, of course, is that they tend to stay within the volunteer movement. It's quite not unusual to like to go to a country town and find a volunteer who's in the fire service side of it, he's in the SES, and he might be in the ambulance. So in some small towns they actually have a volunteer group that are involved in those 3 organisations. They do a wonderful job and they're very dedicated. It takes a lot of time, and I think anyone would realise that their job is getting more comprehensive, more complex. No longer are, if you like, the volunteers in the fire brigade just putting out fires. They're now involved in the rescue scheme, or rescue scene if you like, with the SES, and of course if there's any chemical incidents involved in that. And today we're going to recognise 2 of the members of the Collie Brigade, they're very prominent members, and we've got Kevin Fitzpatrick, who, apart from an Irish name, and I'm sure we should have had this on Sunday, on St Pat's Day, but Kevin is a captain of the Collie Volunteers, has served some 25 odd years. I'll get Max later to read a bit more about Kevin's career. And some years ago I came down to Collie, and they said, look, there's a guy down the station, he's a very nice fellow, but it's his station, so you have to be very careful how you move around it. Just get permission to go on board, which I did, because it was Harry Old, I'll say young Harry Old, and Harry showed me the station, and in fact he helped me with the drills of that particular time that I conducted with the volunteers some years ago. He also introduced me to the old power station, and I did some drills out there. Now, I believe later there were some complaints about the drills I did, but nevertheless. Harry's been in the service some 50 years. That is a real milestone. 50 years is even for my age, is a long time. And today we're going to recognise those things. So, without any further ado, I do appreciate once again you people turning up and to be witness of this occasion. And I thank the hospitality of the Shire and of course the people who put on the show. And I now hand over to the Honourable Graham Edwards, the Minister for Police, Emergency Services and Recreation now, is that right? Sport and Recreation, got that one back again, to present the medals. But I'll get Max Osborne, the District Officer from the area, to read out, if you like, a little bit of the history of the recipients. If we were talking about Harry, I think we would have had a book, but we've managed to contain half a page. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
introduction of Kevin Fitzpatrick. Kevin's about to receive his 25-year class. He's the current present captain, joined the Collie Volunteer Fire Brigade in 1964, was a member of the running side until his retirement in 1982. Although I think Kevin, from some of the people I've seen running in the last few weeks, you could probably make a rerun perhaps. In 1977 he was elected foreman, as a position he held for 8 years, and was elected captain in 1986. Captain Fitzpatrick's service has already seen him awarded the 15-year Good Conduct Medal and the 20-year Service Medal. That's Kevin Fitzpatrick.
Minister, thanks very much for this. 25 years, Harry gets his 50, so I'm halfway there. So hopefully there, next one gets me 50. Thank you.
I'll just read out 50-year service medal to Mr. Harry Old. Mr. Old's 50 years of volunteer fire service is a remarkable achievement which is full of merit. Mr. Old first became a firefighter in West Australia in November 1940 when he joined the Waging Brigade. That was 2 years before I was born, Harry, so you've been around a while. In that same month he enlisted with the Australian Imperial Forces and saw service in the Middle East and New Guinea, returned to Waging in 1945. Harry was captain of the Waging Brigade from 1955 to 1957, and while in Waging was awarded the 15-year Good Conduct Medal and the 20-year Long Service Medal. In 1960, Harry transferred to the Collie Brigade, bringing with him some 20 years' experience. He has been station keeper for Collie from 1962 to the present day, and this extraordinary service was rewarded by a life membership to both the Waging and Collie, both the Waging and Collie Brigades. And other form of appreciation of Mr. Old's service include the Queen's Medal for exemplary service and the Australian National Medal in Bar. Harry Old, let's see, the Minister.
Just before I present this medallion to Harry, I'd just like to congratulate he and Kevin and to say what a tremendous achievement it really is. I think there are many rewards that people get out of the contribution that they make in life, and my view is that the greater the contribution, the more the input, then too is the greater the reward. Not just in the sense of doing things and making a contribution, but in the sense of the tremendous friendships and mateships that you do make, because the people that you meet and the people that you fraternise with in these volunteer organisations really are the salt of the earth, and they really are the people that make Australia what it is. So the rewards are there if people are prepared to make the contribution. And I think it must be a great thing for both of your families to see the esteem that you are held within the community, and the fact that there are so many people here today to witness the presentation of the class and the medallion, I think too, is testimony to that. You really are held in high esteem, and I think your contribution has been a tremendous one over the years, and I just simply say thanks very much, well done, and Collie particularly is a far better place because of your involvement over the years. Well done, Ken.
Fire Brigade Board. I'd like to thank the local shire and thank you all for coming along. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it now falls on me to thank you, sir, the Honourable Minister for Emergency Services, for his attendance today. He has a very, very busy itinerary, and from this point he will be travelling down to Bunbury for a further engagement. It is very appreciative of you being here today. And secondly, I would like to thank the Shire for a magnificent turnout. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the Country Fire Department, without the assistance of these organisations and associations that we have with you, we would be very, very disadvantaged, I'm sure. My personal congratulations and on behalf of the Country Fire Department to the recipients of the medals. I'd personally like to thank Max Osmond for his participation today. As Zone District Officer, he took it on his own part to be MC for this occasion, and I'm sure you agree with me, he has done a magnificent job. And as I mentioned to the Chief, it sounded as if we're in the lunchroom today, because he never stopped. But on behalf of the Country Fire Department, thanks to Collie Brigade for their endeavours this morning. I agree with the Chief, it was very professional. I hope we see you tomorrow, all arriving at the demo tomorrow, and with those few words I'd like to hand over to the Collie Secretary to close the proceedings. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Cole. On behalf of the Fire Brigade members, Captain Kevin, I'd like to thank the Shire very much for putting on this spread for us today in recognition of the Fire Brigade and of Harry's 50-year medal and Kevin's 25-year-old medal. I think two unsung heroes have gone by today, and that's the wives of the two firemen. Because without their participation, their support of Mrs. Olaf, Harry, and Mrs. Fitzpatrick of Kevin, they wouldn't have been able to put the time into the Fire Brigade that they have. So I think a hand should be put together for them. Once again, I'd like to thank the Honourable Mr. Graham Edwards for coming down and making time. I know he's very busy at the moment. Thanks, Graham. Thanks to the Chief, the Assistant Chief, and to Max for being at the last minute, last team to see the situation out and about, and he's done an excellent job with that. Thanks very much to you all for coming down. The other two gentlemen, our association members that look after the volunteers, thank you very much for coming down today and being here to see Kevin and Harry receive their medals. And thank you all for turning up, especially Harry's relations that travelled a long way to be here today. Thank you all. There is still food and drink around. So stay, have a yarn, have some more food and enjoy yourselves. Thank you.